Good evening and welcome everyone. Welcome back to another high stakes Supa-Liga clash in the men's Supa-Liga, where tonight's game between the Cockburn Wolves, who are coming head to head with Perth United, carries massive implications for the middle of the table. We're deep into the season and both sides are finding themselves currently in a precarious position. The Wolves currently sit in 6th, looking to arrest a slide after dropping a few spots in recent weeks, having bounced back last week with a 7-5 victory over the Arkham Eagles. Perth United trails just behind in 9th, and with a few games in hand, tonight is their golden opportunity to leapfrog the logjam which is currently in the middle of the standings and pull away from the bottom of the ladder and potentially make a run at the top 6 to try and find a spot in the finals. The Wolves will need to find their defensive shape to fix that -7 goal difference against the Perth United side, desperate to climb and to bounce back, and they'll come out hard tonight, that is for sure. As we're just about to get underway here in Melville, we'll just run you through the team lineups for the evening. And this absolutely promises to be a cracking game of futsal. So for the Cockburn Wolves, Michael Dudek lining up at number 28, Canel Matthias number 27, Christian Silas number 20, Michael Vlasic 14, Lucas Schutz number 4, Milos Golub number 22, Patrick Torres 35, and Angel Andres Rivera number 19. And for Perth United, Alexander Robert in goals number 16, Steve Garcia number 3, Brian Santabanez number 6, Mohamed Choksi 7, Nicolas Soto Cabello number 8, Jan Chok number 10, Sebastian Correa Valencia 28, Luciano Cretin number 19, Philip Alamov number 12, and Ben Thorpe number 14. That will round out both sides for the evening, as very shortly we will be getting underway here live from Melville. And it's been great to have the Supa-Liga back for 2026, continuing on the 25 to 26 summer season, and a very exciting clash coming up here tonight. And those couple games in hand for the Perth United Futsal Club, they've had them in hand for a while, and finally now they get a chance to use them and to potentially propel themselves up the ladder here tonight. Jan Chok will be captaining for Perth United, as he usually does. He's so influential and such a steady head for United. 2 goalkeepers who are very strong, Alexander Robert for United and Michael Dudek for the Cockburn Wolves. So it's going to be hard for both attacks to find a way, not only through the defence, but through the keepers on that last line. So it'll be a very intriguing. We don't have too many games here down in Melville as well, so that might be a factor. Seeing how both teams adjust to a different stadium that they're playing in. And lining up now in the starting lineup for the Cockburn Wolves is Patrick Torres, number 43, Canel Matthias, number 7, Lucas Schutz, number 4, and Michael Vlasic playing in that last line of defence, as he so often does for the United. Starting 5 is Santabanez, Jan Chok starting out there, and they will be ready to go for what is going to be a big match for them. Cabello and Alamov also out there. As the game gets underway, Schutz off to Matthias. He'll reset, goes back to, and for a chance, bounces off Schutz on the deflection. That was Vlasic with the shot, and it'll be taken now in goals, and Robert will hand that off. And off go United. Here's Cabello. Cabello looks at Chok, decides not to go that way, goes all the way. Here's a chance, Santabanez. Shot blocked. Schutz, Matthias, back to Schutz. In comes Cabello. He takes his time now, takes off down the line, keeps it in well. Matthias defending. Cabello keeps, ends up with Vlasic, and now Schutz on the counter. Great with his feet. Chok goes down, and foul will be called on Jan Chok. And Schutz tries to go quick, but called back. And it'll be taken now by Michael Vlasic. Michael Vlasic to take. Off to Torres. Vlasic. Torres again. Now progresses forward, and Matthias can't to get a hold of that ball, and it'll end up now with Robert. Robert out of goals, long throw. Intercepted by Matthias, chance for Torres. Thought about the first time shot, passes it inboard and finished now by Matthias. Just above the knee, that finish, and you'll see on that replay, a great ball by Torres. He thought about going first time, decided against it, took that first touch, and a great cross inside, finding Torres, and not the start that United were after, and the dream start for the Cockburn Wolves. Chock, Cabello. Alamov, Cabello, and Chock now, long ball, and didn't get the run he was after there from Filip Alamov, and Dudek will take in goals. Here's Matthias, Chock comes in, goes down, no foul called, and that'll be last off Chock, and it should be a corner, will it? In fact, it'll be a goal throw for Alexander Robert. Santa Banez with those very noticeable purple boots that he wears every week. Chock tries to go back to Santa Banez, intercepted by Vlasic. Vlasic now, good ball to Matthias. He has time. Recess to Torres. Torres now, Vlasic. Matthias. Gets a shot off on the right, no. Nice feint, returns it to Torres. Torres now shoots. Shoots, cuts it inboard. 2 defenders to beat. Decides against it, back to Torres. Nice strong defence here by United after that conceding of the first goal. Now they'll lose it and United take off. Robert, off to Chock. Chock down the line, finds Alamov. And that ball's not what he was looking for. Tried to find Chock, and a couple times early, Chock and Alamov haven't been able to connect, and that will win a Cockburn Wolves possession for Canel Matthias. Off to Vlasic. He'll cut it into the middle. Nice step over by Shoots, and another one. Now goes out to Matthias, back to Vlasic. Vlasic, good ball inside. Shoots, loses control of it and allows United to push them back. But now off go the Wolves. Matthias, Vlasic, and they'll really want to build on that win from last week. There's a shot by Shoots, and that's wayward, but they'll really want to build on that win from last week with the Cockburn Wolves coming up victors in a 7-5. Great game of futsal against the Arkham Eagles. Here is Torres, he'll find Matthias. All the way back to Vlasic and out wide to Shoots. Shoots now, a couple step overs out to Matthias. Couldn't find Shoots on the 1-2. Chock now, Alamov. Good ball through to Cabello. Alamov back to Santa Banez. Brian Santa Banez, long ball, but too much on it. Nice idea, but the execution just wasn't quite there, and it'll end up now with Dudek. Vlasic, Torres, down the line. He'll pass it inboard, but straight into the hands of Robert. Robert now, Chock under pressure for Vlasic. In comes Torres, who just catched a bit of Chock on the way through. Chock, Cabello. Out to Alamov, too much on it, allows Shoots to get there. And Shoots wins it, does he? Looks like it just managed to go out of bounds before Shoots was able to recollect. And that'll be Alamov now to take. Alamov down all the way into defence to Robert. Hesitated first, going to Santa Banez. Now he goes to him. Now back to Robert. He'll have a shot himself. No. Gives it off to Alamov. In comes Matthias, and if they can win it, they'll get a chance. They don't. Santa Banez and a chance for Chock off the crossbar. And a big moment there. Chock almost getting that equaliser. And it looks like there must have been a deflection in that shot, and it'll be taken now by Santa Banez. From the corner, and that will be a goal throw now for Dudek. Bit of a wasted chance there for United. Vlasic, great ball through to Shoots. Shoots has all sorts of space. Can he get it through? No. Still a chance on the follow-up. Cuts it outside, or inside in fact. Torres, Vlasic. Now Matthias, he has time. Goes to Shoots, 1-1 with Santa Banez. Takes it inboard, still controlling it. Out to Vlasic. Almost catches Shoots on the way through, but ends up with Matthias. Shoots again. Thinks about the shot. Vlasic back to shoots. Great defense by Santa Banez, but still Vlasic almost loses his footing. Goes out to Torres and back to Dudek. And the Cockburn Wolves really controlling possession in this opening 4 minutes of futsal here on this Wednesday night. Matthias, Torres, back to Vlasic, now out wide to shoots. Trying to find space, and he'll go down, and the foul will be called on Cabello. No complaints there at all. And that'll now be 2 fouls on the United defence so far this evening. 1 so far given on the Wolves. Be taken here by Vlasic. He's got a strong leg, gets a shot off, and it's almost gone in. It has, off the deflection. Cabello had that last touch and ended up beating Robert. And there's a Vlasic goal. 2-0, the lead for the Cockburn Wolves, and you'll see that once again. I'd mentioned he had a strong boot. That one went low, and a bit of fortune in the end. But when you're controlling as much possession as the Cockburn Wolves have currently done for this game, luck tends to fall your way. As that ball now goes out, it'll be taken by Dudek. Dudek long through the middle, finds shoots, and the United, as shoots, beats about 3 defenders there. On comes Silas, and Silas finishes immediately. 3-0, and this is getting ugly for United. I'd mentioned that United need to bounce back. Well, they've just conceded another one, and they'll call a timeout. It is trouble for Perth United. They've been strong this season. They've been very competitive and strong defensively, and they will need to be bounced back after this timeout. They've got a lot of time to do it, but 3-0 is not the start they were after. And we are back from that timeout. Desperately needed to be called by United. They've got a 3-goal deficit to overcome. They would have come here to Melbourne tonight, and they would not have expected this start. The Wolves have come out and looked really elite with how they've moved the ball and finished. And United now have 3 goals to make up. And that's almost a turnover. That'll go out into touch. It is a turnover. And Silas, who just came on in his first touch, I believe, if not one of his first touches of this game of futsal, with a finish for Christian Silas, straight past Robert. Here's Silas. Gives it off, receives it back. Now move the ball around defence now. Golub. Vlasic, long ball, and straight over the head of not only Robert, but the goals. Here's Chop. Cabello. And that's almost turned over. Vlasic doing well defensively there. Cabello now again. He will give it off. And they look to take off. Here we go. Chop down the line. Nice idea to cut it in there. Couldn't quite get it through. Chock's there. He'll let that roll out. And Luciano Cretin on for Perth United. And he will take this corner. Gives it off to Cabello, back to Cretin. Ended up being a nice touch, but loses it now. Now a chance for Golub on the counter. Out to McGilray. Magura, can he get a shot off? We'll cut it in board and get a shot. But the block made by Cabello. But danger not averted for United. They are absolutely under the pump, and the Cockburn Wolves are threatening to blow this game out even further here. Here's Vlasic off the right. There's a block made by Garcia. Cabello now. Vlasic still putting pressure on Robert. They might have to just clear this. That's dangerous from Shock. Ends up with Garcia. Now Chock's out 2-on-1. Now they got an opportunity. Shot from Shock. He had Cretin. Decided to go himself and couldn't keep the accuracy where he wanted it to be. Ended up going right. Now on comes Thorpe for United to try and have an early impact. Here's Thorpe. Cabello. Cretin, but that was one of their bigger chances that obviously wasn't finished by Shock, but they'll want to continue where that opportunity came from. And that'll be last off of Silas, and it'll be, in fact, it will be a Silas ball in the end. He'll give that off to Vlasic. McGilwray. Vlasic, good ball through to Golub. Thread and needle there. Now they'll lose it. McGilwray leads to Vlasic. Vlasic to Silas. Great ball through to McGilwray. They're playing with fire a bit though, the Wolves. They're managing to squeeze their passes through, only just. And in the end, United's press wins out, resetting the play. And you can see United have come out with more intent since that timeout, putting a lot of pressure on the ball carrier for the Cockburn Wolves. And here is Silas under pressure again. And they're going to win the ball. The great pressure there from Garcia, winning a corner for United. Thorpe to take. On comes Choxy for United. Thorpe goes to Cretin, doesn't get through to him. Golub with a great intercept. Vlasic, Silas, through the middle again dangerously, and he might lose it. McGilwray, he does. Chance for Cretin on the shot, and just wide right. And he'll go down, and he looks a bit worse for wear. But the momentum has shifted slightly in this game. No damage done yet for Perth United, but they have had a few opportunities now after getting really dominated for those first few minutes. Hopefully Cretin is all okay. Got that shot off and probably didn't get the power on the shot he would have liked. The accuracy also is just wide right, and Dudek happily let that roll to the side of the goals, and he'll take it now. I think he'll just give this one off to Silas, and he does. Now Vlasic, down the line, McGilwray. McGilwray, he can pass this forward. He's got a chance, he's got Silas there. Tries to go to him, probably a bit too late. Golub, one-on-one contest with Thorpe. Golub wins, big save by Robert, and just manages to thrust that over the crossbar. But a great win there from McGilwray on that far corner, and he now will win a corner for himself. He's got Vlasic who shoots, and that one never really looked likely. Here is Robert. Robert with a long ball, looks for Thorpe, and it was just too deep on that ball. Out of the reach of Cretin and Thorpe, who were in the area. Vlasic. Silas, back to Vlasic. Goes to McGilwray. Controls it well, now loses it. Cretin, now they've got a chance again. Cretin from a similar spot as earlier. Block though made by Vlasic. And that will go out into touch. Cretin to take. Gives it off to Thorpe. Tried to get it back to Cretin, but waited too long and lost it. Silas now. He takes off on the counter. Defended tightly by Choxy. And foul called there on Steve Garcia. Looked like he got a bit of the ball there. But the foul is called, and it will be a Wolves ball, and that's going to be now 3 fouls on Perth United early in this first half of futsal. And Vlasic has loomed early. He's always so strong in defence, but in recent weeks he's also found a way to punish the defence as well by beating the keeper. He gives this one off the silos, back to McGilwray. McGilwray with a shot, and almost through the legs of Robert that ends up taking care of it. He'll give that to Choxy. Choxy, Thorpe, Garcia. Thorpe again, goes down the line, Choxy keeps it in, Vlasic. And the Wolves win possession back, Dudek. Good ball to McGilwray, who loses it. Now Cretin, can he keep that in? He does, all the way back to Robert. Robert to Choxy. Thorpe uses Garcia. Garcia's got some time, but the defense is back for the Wolves. Cretin tries to squeeze it in, ends up going through, chance! Massive save by Dudek. Garcia was waiting and he would have finished it if Dudek didn't get that left hand out. As Choxy comes in with that high press, forcing another goal throw for Dudek. Here's a long ball by Dudek. McGilwray, can he turn the defence? He does. He can't get a shot off. Shoots. Can the Wolves find a way through? Great work keeping your feet, but they'll lose it. Ends up now with Cretin. Out, and nice defence on that occasion by the Wolves. Here's Thorpe. Garcia. Choxy, Thorpe. Cretin. Thorpe, Choxy, back into Thorpe in the middle. Here's a chance. Turnover, now a chance. And the shot by Silas, probably should have given that one off. Didn't really have, I think he had more time than he thought because he just went for the shot and didn't threaten. Now here is Garcia on the counter. Taking it out of goals, in fact, is Garcia. Choxy. And off go United. Valencia, off to Garcia. Thorpe. Can't keep that in. In fact, it'll last be off of McGilwray. And it'll be United ball. Choxy. Garcia. Tries to go down the line there to Thorpe, but nice defence by the Wolves. Garcia. Valencia down the line, no one there. Dudek now to take in goals. Here we go long. McGilwray all the way back, and the Wolves look to build on. Comes Shoots again for the Cockburn Wolves. Here's Torres, can't squeeze that through. It's going to end up with Thorpe, who's been influential. Obviously they haven't scored yet though, the Wolves, the United Futsal Club, but they will look to do that soon. Garcia, Choxy, back to Garcia. Now Thorpe, almost thought about going to that back post, I think. Loses it, now Shoots. Takes off, beats Choxy through the middle, beats Valencia, still going Lucas Shoots. What a finish that would be, but great defence at the end by Garcia, who is not happy with his fellow defenders. Lucas Shoots ran straight from that defensive line all the way for a shot and almost finished it off. Correa, Valencia tries to squeeze that through, shoots there. Choxy, and now a chance. Matthias on the counter now. Chance for the Wolves, nice cutting board. Ends up with Shoots, and there's almost a goal somehow. Somehow Thorpe manages to stop that from going in. Looked like for all money that was going to be another goal and a fourth for the evening. But Thorpe there on that last line helping out Robert. Here's Shoots. Goes back to Torres. Shoots again. Tries to go down the line, but Thorpe does well. Shoots. Goes down the line. Now it's lost. Ends up with Garcia, but foul called on Thorpe. Torres, 2 shoots. Now the Wolves look to build. Matthias. Shock does nice defensively. He may have won it, he has. Cabello. Shock. Tries to go long. Dangerous because Shoots is onto it. He takes off, loses it now. Great defense by Cabello. Shock. Shoxy. Can he get a shot off? Valencia can! And just high. Big opportunity going begging for United. But great defensive effort there from Cabello, winning the ball off Shoots as he was doing his pattern step overs. Long ball here for Matthias, who beats Cabello this time. Robert wins it. And now Valencia almost loses it. Shoots did well. Robert will clean that mess up. Valencia off to Cabello, loses it. Matthias, can he get a shot off? Does well. Cabello should be called for the foul, will he? And he will. Contact was made and a yellow will be given. And that is now 5 fouls for Perth United. So they've got 8 minutes. 8 minutes of futsal in this first half to not concede a 6th foul and concede a 10-metre penalty. And they are in an absolute mess here at Melville United. They've got a lot of work to do. And the first step towards getting back into this game is stopping this Matthias attempt. But for the Wolves, they'll want to make the most of the momentum. They'll want to extend this lead to 4. Matthias to take, off the right, block made. And still a Wolves ball to be taken by Shoots. Shoots, Golub, Torres, retreats. All the way back now to Dudek. Doesn't have many options, but now uses Golub, who presents late. Tries to squeeze that through just behind Shoots. And it'll be a United possession. Shoxy, Cabello. Shock involved. Back to Cabello. Now, now Chock. Can't get a head on it. Shoots. Last touch will be off him there. Nice run, but couldn't get any semblance of control. Cabello. Off to Chock. Just over 7 minutes remaining now for United to find a way back in to this game, or for the Wolves to extend their lead. Now Chock on the shoots on the counter. Can he finish it? He can. No, just off the bottom of the crossbar. So close. What a run that was, and almost chipped Robert in very similar fashion against United as what Emanuele Vicari did a few weeks ago. Here is Matthias. Good ball down the line from Golub. Chance, almost finished. Great save by Robert. Now they've got a chance on the counter. And off go United, but they'll lose it. Great recovery there defensively by the Wolves, and it was Shoots getting that last tackle in. Santabanez to Cabello. Back to Santabanez. We'll give it up back to Cabello. Santabanez again. Out wide now. Valencia tried to find Santabanez. I think that'll last be off of him, and it will. It's going to be a Wolves ball, and it looks like it's been overruled by referee Gab. So it will be United ball. He'll be taken by Santa Banes. Shock. Valencia with a shot. Straight into the hands of Dudek. Off to Torres. Torres has the run of shoots. Goes in that direction. But Cabello gets back strongly. Forcing the corner for the Wolves. Torres. Can't get that through. He did, but not controlled though by Matthias. Santa Banes to Robert. Robert with a high ball. Ends up with Golub. Good ball through to Torres. Can they finish it? No, they can't. And Dudek will get a chance to reset for the Wolves. Matthias to Shoots. Shoots out to Golub. Here the turnover. Big chance for United, but they'll lose it off the Alamov boot. Torres through to Shoots now. Few step overs. Keeps the ball. Goes down. No foul call. Torres will finish it. And the Cockburn Wolves take a 4-goal lead with still over 5 minutes to go in this first half. A yellow given to Jan Schock. I believe something occurred after the finish from Torres between him and Lucas Shoots. I didn't quite catch it, but a yellow given nonetheless. And big trouble here for Perth United. Santa Banes gets us back underway. Cabello, Alamov, Cabello, Shock and Cabello combine again. Moving the ball around well here. They've got to find a way to get through this Wolves defence. They haven't had a whole lot of good chances. Santa Banes, Cabello, nice cut outside of Matthias, and the shot by Shock's blocked by Shoots. And they'll get a chance to reset United. Shock, Roberts, Cabello. Now Santa Banes pressured by it, Shoots, going all the way back. Roberts out of goals. You wouldn't want to mess around with it here. And dangerously, almost Matthias getting a boot on that. And great defence by the Cockburn Wolves, winning possession back. And this will be taken by Matthias. Vlasic, Golub, Shoots. He can get a shot off. Goes back to Matthias. Vlasic as well, through to Shoots. Now Matthias thinks about having a shot, decides against it, takes a couple touches and can't squeeze that through to Vlasic. And it'll be United ball. And now it's Alamov for Perth United. Cabello. Alamov. Robert. Now Chalk. Can he build something as the captain here and get his team back into this game, which right now is looking very grim for United. Alamov loses it, and that's going to be another opportunity for the Wolves to extend this lead and potentially make it 5 before the end of this first half. Shoots. Vlasic, block made by Santa Banes, and he'll put pressure on Shoots, who lets it go all the way out, and it'll be a Wolves ball. Dudek, long ball, Chock will cut that off. Can he keep it in? He doesn't, and the Wolves will take possession back. Here's McGilray. Shot from Vlasic, blocked by Alamov. And still now danger looms with the Wolves getting another opportunity. Golub has Vlasic ready to shoot. And he'll take the shot and just catch a side netting. Here's Cabello. Gives it off, manages to get it through off the deflection of Santa Banes, and that'll last be off Vlasic. So United will keep. On comes Thorpe for Perth United. Big shot from Alamov, block made by Vlasic. Alamov uses Cabello. Now Robert, back to Cabello. And they'll just move the ball around, playing a bit of fly keeper, trying to get a bit of possession back in this game, in a game where they haven't had a whole lot of it. And maybe create an opportunity to score. Here's Robert, has a lot of space, but will opt to return to this possession game. If they can get this through to Robert, they've got space. They do. Robert with a shot, big block by McGilray. Another shot from Cabello, he tried to cut it in instead. Thorpe, no keeper in goals. You wouldn't want to mess around with it too much. They'll do okay though. Alamov on the counter, shot, and wide right. That's a massive opportunity. Could have finished that. He was pretty much one-on-one with Dudek. There was no defender in between him and the line of Michael Dudek, but couldn't keep it on target. Now they're putting some pressure on United. Vlasic down the line, loses it. Thorpe's got a whole lot of space. He'll get a shot off straight into the hands of Dudek. Long ball. McGilray does well, now loses it though. Santabanez off to Thorpe, who has space. Vlasic covers that space pretty quickly. Thorpe does well, blocked by Vlasic. And that'll be a United ball. Thorpe, one back by Matthias. McGilray, Matthias, shot, big block made. McGilray still, another block by Santabanez. And the Wolves will reset and look to create a third opportunity. And it will third time be a charm for the Wolves. Matthias, Santabanez, Steve Garcia puts on pressure. Long ball, Vlasic, a great one. Finding McGilray. And the Wolves take off, chance. Can it be 5? No. Robert there, Garcia. Turns it, Santabanez. Turnover, couldn't find Alamov. Big chance for the Cockburn Wolves to make it 5. Matthias loses it, Garcia did brilliantly. He now has 2 to beat. And couldn't do it, and it'll be a Wolves ball. Matthias to take from touch. Vlasic. Just over a minute remaining. They've done well, United, to not concede that 6th foul in 7 minutes of futsal. But they haven't been able to get a goal back. And there's a chance, and there's the finish. And the Cockburn Wolves are now up 5 goals over United, and this game looks all but gone unless a miracle occurs here at Melville. And wouldn't have expected this coming here tonight. Yes, the Wolves are higher on the ladder, but with a couple games at hand for United and some impressive performances, you would have thought it'd at least be a lot closer than what we're seeing, but that was a great finish to make it 5. Garcia and almost gets one back. Thorpe loses it, 2-on-1. Vlasic through to shoot, he should finish, and he does! It's now 6-0, and the Wolves are putting on an absolute clinic, and Lucas Schutz finally gets involved in the party. And an absolute demolition going on right now, courtesy of the Cockburn Wolves. Alamov, Cretin. He'll find Thorpe. Down the line to Cretin again, who can't keep it in. Shoots. Great ball to his outside. It could be 7. And it almost is. It catches the post. So close there for the Wolves. Almost scoring another one. It would have been 3 goals in about 30 seconds. Garcia. Alamov. Robert. Garcia under pressure from Lucas Schutz. Almost turns it over and does, and a disaster again for United. You cannot be passing it across goals in that scenario and hammered away. And it is now 8, in fact 7-0. And that's about 3 goals in 40 seconds, and United seems shell-shocked. This is not what they were after. And that goal difference I mentioned earlier before the game started that the Wolves needed to make up, they made up a whole lot of it already in one half. and they will not be looking to take the foot off the gas. And that one almost goes through for another chance. But it'll end up back with Luka shoots. Vlasic. And almost that ball getting through to shoots. Can't quite. Nice idea though. Alamov. Cretin, 6 seconds left. You'd think that'll do us for the half. Thought might get one shot. Looks like he'll run out of time. Don't think he got the shot off anyway. And with a 7-0 lead going into the first half break, we'll be back with you in just a few moments.
Futsal WA has social futsal competitions 5 nights a week at Mount Lawley and West Perth. Whether you're an individual or have a group of mates who want to play, there's a junior, men's, women's or mixed competition that will suit you. Contact us to get involved in futsal, an action-packed sport and the fastest growing sport in Australia.
Welcome back for the second half of futsal. 7-0 is the lead for the Cockburn Wolves, and they'll be looking to extend while the United Futsal Club have already brought out the 5th man, looking to probably pull together one of the most incredible comebacks in the history of the game. It would take something special, but you never know. 7-0 is a lot to ask though, and with the 5th man in play, it could get even worse. Or they might be able to get a few goals back and then make things interesting. I think I'd mentioned a few times earlier that McGilray was on the ball. I stand corrected, that was Diabro, who did have a strong impact. As the shot there from Cretin. McGilray did find 2 goals towards the end of that that first half in that last minute of play. And they were crucial goals because they really, you would feel like anyway, put the game beyond doubt. Here's Chalk playing that 5th man. Cretin can't squeeze it in. Vlasic might have had the last touch there. And it looks like he did not. It'll be Dudek's ball. Torres keeps it in, goes all the way back to Vlasic. Silas. Vlasic down the line, Torres. Cretin loses it in a dangerous spot, Silas. And if he could have controlled that, he had Torres at the back post and could have made it 8. But what you can say about 5th man is it will make for some entertaining futsal in this second half when all does seem lost for United. Here's Cabello, Thorpe. Inside chance for Choxy, Chalk, Thorpe, Cabello. Goes inside, 2 to beat. This should be finished by Silas, and it's just wide. And a sigh of relief from United as that was almost an 8. Cabello now. Thorpe. Back to Cabello. And Thorpe again. Can they find a way through? Here's Chalk. Chalk to Choxy, back to Chalk. Thorpe. Here's a chance. They squeeze it through, but Vlasic closes that hole up. Thorpe, Cabello. Chalk. Great ball through. Cretin, chance, and Vlasic again closes it up. And that looks like it might be last off of the United. It looks like it was off United last, and that was the chase from Cabello. Couldn't quite track it down. And that's going to be a corner for Christian Silas. Silas, Matthias. Vlasic with a shot, and that's just high. And what a return to form. They obviously had that win last week, the Cockburn Wolves, but really have come out so strong tonight. And a win here would jump South Perth. They're currently 6th, South Perth are 5th, and they would be able to, at least for the time being. In fact, they do have that game in hand, the Wolves, so they will be sitting in 5th if they do get this win. Especially making up right now anyway, 7 goals of that -7 goal difference, bringing them back to par. Cabello. Thorpe. Cabello again. Thorpe tried to squeeze that through to Chalk. Chalk will end up with it. Back to Choxy. Torres. Vlasic. Open net. And it's a goal. Straight into the back of the net. And that is now 8 goals to 0 in favour of United. In favour of the Wolves. And United have got a lot of work to do to at least make this scoreline respectable. Here's Choxy, Cabello. Chalk and Cabello combining for a second time. And has that gone in? It hasn't. And another bit of luck there for the Wolves. They haven't needed much throughout this game, but that occasion it beat Dudek off Cabello and it just copped the bottom of that left post. Vlasic goes long. Cabello on the counter. They've got 4v2. Cabello loses it. Thorpe, Choxy, that'll be finished. And 1 back for United. The first goal of the evening, courtesy of Cabello. And Silas will get us back underway. And will they take at least a bit of confidence out of that goal, Perth United, to get 1 or 2 goals back, and you never know, at least make the game a bit more interesting for both clubs. Sure, the Wolves won't be looking for that though. Vlasic, big save by Robert. He's had a tough night, but that save he'll be happy with. And Shoots will take it from touch. Vlasic, good ball inside. Torres has Shoots. Straight through him. Cretin. goes down the line, can't keep it in. Vlasic strong defensively. Vlasic, Silas still loses it. Cabello, Cretin, can he get a shot off? Just couldn't quite keep the touch in front of him. And that's a nice ball across into a dangerous spot, but no one there. Vlasic, Torres, goes down, foul might be called on Cretin. Torres still on it, and that will be a United ball. Cretin, off to Thorpe, Cabello, Chalk, chance again for Chalk, and that's just wide, big opportunity, and this fifth man is starting to create a few holes in the Wolves defence for United, but on that occasion, Chalk was just wide. That ball goes all the way through. Seth Magure, as I mentioned earlier, he had a couple goals towards the end of that first half. Couldn't get on the end of that one though. But did nicely on that occasion, forcing a side ball for Cretin. Thorpe. Cabello back to Thorpe. Nice ball to the corner. Dangerous spot from Cretin, but no avail. Thorpe down the line, can't keep it in, and that'll be a United ball. Be taken here by that fifth man, Jan Chalk. Big shot there by Cretin, ends up with Garcia, Thorpe. Garcia, back to Cretin, shoots on the counter. Big head by Garcia and what was probably a certain goal. Torres shoots to Vlasic. Choxy, Garcia, big block made. Now on the counter, here goes Magure. Torres gets a shot off and the save by Chalk in the goal line. Playing as that keeper. Garcia goes out to Cretin, back to Garcia. Turnover. Counter-attack play now from Vlasic, but good tackle by Cretin. And Vlasic will bring it in from touch. In fact, it looks like it'll be shoots now on the potential shot. In comes Cabello. In fact, Shoxy that was. Torres, Thorpe with the intercept. Keeps it in, does well. And they might be able to take off here. But the Wolves did just enough to not let that squeeze through for a big opportunity. Garcia. Chalk, back to Garcia. Thorpe through, chance, big save there by Dudek, who takes a shot and not far off, just wide. That'll now be taken by Chalk. Thorpe down the line, beat shoots, still going Thorpe, still going, great ball inside, and Alamov so close. Big save there by Dudek, but a great run there by Thorpe that was. He can't squeeze it through to Chalk. Now the chance on the counter. McGilray, can he keep it in? That'll, you'd think, be off Garcia. It'll be a Wolves ball. And that ball's going to last come off Torres, and it'll be taken on that foul flank by Steve Garcia. Looks like Vlasic with a just absolutely hammered that away straight into the roof after the defensive block was made, and that'll be around mid-court. It'll be a United ball. Garcia almost loses it on the ball through to Alamov, ends up with Thorpe. Alamov shoots, putting pressure on. Now Thorpe, Chalk, he thought about going long to Valencia. Alamov tries to go to Valencia now, and Valencia will take that side ball. Just over 13 minutes remaining in what has been for the most part a one-sided game of futsal. Thorpe. Nice boot in there from McGilwray. Shock. Will be bringing it in now. Off to Thorpe. Thorpe loses it. McGilwray onto it. Shock. Thorpe. Chance and chips the keeper. Just can't quite finish. Patrick Torres, long ball over the head of his intended target in McGilwray. Garcia, Thorpe, pressured by Torres, almost a turnover. Now Alamov has space, returns though to Garcia. Valencia, Garcia, cuts it through the middle, keeping it in is Alamov. Garcia again. McGilwray gets a boot in there. There's no keeper in goals. They'd want to be careful here. Wood United. Garcia does well. McGilwray wins it. No. Keeping possession. And somehow that's not finished. And remarkably, Lucas shoots there. Wide open net. And can't finish on what appeared to be a certain goal. The first block was from Thorpe. And on the follow-up, the shoot shot was wide. Chock. Off to Garcia. Calls from the coach of United to increase the speed on the movement of the ball, and they get that. Alamov has a chance, saved by Dudek. Torres takes off, goes all the way back. Now, speaking of all the way back, Garcia on that last line of defence. Returns it to Valencia. Garcia now. Santa Banez squeezes it through, what a ball! And somehow again, not finished, and that was Valencia. Chipped Dudek, but Dudek has been so strong in goals in this second half. He's faced fifth man and a lot of opportunities. And has only conceded one goal in 8 minutes of futsal. Fabdia, bro, can't keep that in. Valencia to take. Valencia brings it back in. Off to Santa Banez. In fact, that was Garcia bringing it in. Garcia now. Had Valencia on that. Just that line through it. That back post didn't go there. Shock. Leaves that and he'll take possession. Gets it through. Alamov, big block on what did appear to be on target. That shot. Alamov through. Diabro wins it, and that might go all the way, just wide. And they have done well. This fifth man has worked in this second half. They've scored one goal and conceded one, which is obviously a lot better return than the first half. Alamov, they do want to find a few goals back though if they can. Dudek cleans this one up, shoots. Now a chance on the turnover, and the deflection will force a corner. Alamov with the corner. Santa Banez. Chock. Garcia. Valencia. Turnover. Should finish this one. And once again, in pretty much the exact same situation as last shot, just wide right. Here is Chock. And he will get play back underway for United. Garcia, Chock, and that off the deflection will be a Santa Banez side ball. We're almost halfway through this second half of futsal on a Wednesday night evening of futsal at Melville. Turnover, McGilwray finishes, and that's 9. 9 won the lead. And Would have thought it'd be only a matter of time when you are playing fifth man. If you're not scoring, eventually you're going to concede. And 2 goals conceded now in this half, and it should be another one. Chance for Shoots, gives it off, and it'll be finished on the goal line at that back post by Golub, and that's now 10. And you do tend to see this late in a futsal season. Teams are tired, and when some teams do start to fall down early in games, it can blow out, and we saw that with a 22-0 drubbing a few weeks ago at the hands of South Perth, overcoming Phoenix. And this game is not looking pretty either. 10-1 the score, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. And that marks an end to the timeout called by United after a 10th goal conceded. And they've been pretty strong this season, United, defensively. They haven't conceded a whole lot of goals in a whole lot of games. They even had a win against the West Coast Cobras earlier this season, who they will be playing this Saturday night. And if their form continues from tonight, it will be a very, very tough matchup. But they're going to have to obviously go back to the drawing board and look to build and bounce back from this performance as that goes out, and Thorpe will, looks like in fact it might, looks like United was setting up defensively, and in the end it will be a Wolves ball. I did think it was off the Cockburn Wolves, but United didn't seem to complain. As it shoots now, nicely controlled by Golub. Cabello gets a boot and clears that away. Shoots. Golub. And once again, Cabello getting there defensively. Vlasic now on the shot, almost deflects in. Vlasic again on the follow-up, now Golub. And it might have to be cleared. Shoots, tries to cut it in board, but Robert just gets there. And Shoots will get another opportunity here from the side ball. Shot by Vlasic, blocked by Thorpe. Shoots, big chance from a bro, and that one's way high. Down the line goes Cretin, uses Thorpe. Cabello now. Tries to get it to Chalk, turnover idea, broken over shot. No winning goals, gives it off to Shoots, and this time, third time lucky on the open net. He finishes it and makes it 11. You do sometimes wonder about playing the fifth man at this time of the game when obviously the game is gone. It's a bit of a balance of trying to find a few goals, but also you don't want the scoreboard to look too ugly. I suppose by this point you're not too fussed. Cabello. Cretin might have lost it again. Shoots, wins it. Foul called, and that'll be a card. A necessary foul, which probably stopped a certain goal. And this has obviously been a very disappointing performance by Perth United, but it's been absolutely clinical by the Cockburn Wolves. They've come out here tonight on a Wednesday night and looked from the very get-go a class above. And they managed to find a few goals early, and since then it's just been all uphill from them. Diabro back to Dudek. Dudek goes long and intercepted by Thorpe. In comes Shoots, and he can't keep it in. Thorpe will take. On comes Chalk back in that 5th man role. Thorpe. Cabello. Pass betrays him. And then it'll be a Wolves ball. Shoots, takes it through the middle, still going. Lucas Shoots, gives it off to Diabro, who loses it himself. Choxy might get this back, he will. This could be finished. Another big save by Dudek. Thorpe on the follow-up, and Dudek had just been so strong in goals. Diabro somehow almost gets that to Shoots. I think he thought Shoots was closer than where he was. Foul will be called against United. In fact, against the Cockburn Wolves, I believe it was a rolling foul when United were on the attack earlier. Diabro, chance for Milos Golub. Golub again. Golub still, and that's just a bit heavy on that touch, and that you would think is going to be a United possession. It is. Chalk. Thorpe. Chalk and Thorpe combine again. Here is Cabello to Thorpe. Good ball to Choxy. This is something, and just too high on that ball to Chalk, and it made it hard for him to finish. And he wasn't able to in the end. And at the halftime break, the Perth United coach was having a discussion with his team and was making the comment that, as there's an opportunity, but he was making the comment that 7-0, he's never seen anyone come back from 7-0 down and just kind of go out there, have a free hit, play 5th man and see what you can do. And they have done that, but it's been 4-1 in this half of play with United fielding the 5th man. Cabello now. 5th man brought on. Cretin takes a shot, deflection. Still a chance. Thorpe, another save, this time off the diving Silas. And they just cannot seem to buy a goal, can United? They've had so many chances in this second half. There's another one, this one blocked by Diabro. And it'll be taken by Cabello. Cretin out wide to Thorpe. Back to Cretin. He has Cabello. Back to Cretin again. Nice cut outside. Big save by Dudek. Did well. Great positioning. Chance for Vlasic. Cabello gets back on his line. And off go United again. Choxy loses it. Diabro beats Chalk and finishes. That is so classy by Fab Diabro. And with just over 7 minutes remaining, you have to wonder if it will get worse, this scoreline. Similar to that South Perth Phoenix game a few weeks ago, Phoenix had been competitive for a lot of the season, as have United. But any game, if one team is on and one team isn't, this can be the result in such a strong league. And that ball goes straight into the hands of Dudek. Long ball, Golub, out comes Chalk. Does brilliantly, goes down and foul called. Here's Santa Banez, chance for Thorpe, saved by Dudek, thinks about going for the shot, gives it off instead, Silas, and he went for the shot. He did have Golub but fair enough to take the shot himself, just couldn't keep the accuracy. Garcia, Thorpe. And tried to find Choxy, but to no avail. Long ball. Chance, this should be finished. Golub, and he had Diabro so close to finding him. And you'd think if he did find him, that was a goal. Choxy. It's been a great 2 weeks of futsal so far for the Cockburn Wolves. They were down at stages last week against the Eagles, but managed to come out on top and to go back-to-back to start the season, or in fact to start the new year. They're going into this back half of the season with momentum, and another big save by Dudek. Still a chance on the follow-up, and there's a goal by Santabanez. They'd been threatening all half, but finally Dudek is beaten, and 12-2 still the margin. 12-2 still the scoreline, but at least something back there for United. Diabro out to Silas. Silas, a couple step overs, shot off, and just wide. It did appear to be a deflection in there, and that is the call. And the corner will be taken by Torres. Torres, Vlasic, shot, big save. Might be a chance on the counter, but they do well to recover, do the Wolves. Be taken here by Garcia. Chock, Garcia. Now Thorpe. Thorpe and Garcia combining a few times, and they might do that again here. They will, in fact. Now Chock gets involved. Good ball through. Choxy, heavy touch. And Dudek makes the most of the chance to dive on it. Garcia. Chock. Here's a chance. Thorpe, can he get a shot off? He can. It might deflect in. No. Ends up in the hands of Dudek again. There's Diabro through to Torres. Nice turn. Still going through the legs of Garcia. But United end up with it. Thorpe. Garcia. Long ball straight off the head of Silas coming from Santabanez. Here is Santabanez still going. Choxy back to Garcia. Now Thorpe. Thorpe, nice cutting board. Heavy though. Stolen by the Wolves, and Vlasic can't finish. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this game now. Garcia. Gets it back from Choxy, now gives it back to Choxy, and they'll combine again. Here is Chock. United trying to find a gap, trying to see what they can build. They've now got Valencia on. Chock almost loses it. Goes down again, and another foul called on Silas, who is not happy with a second consecutive foul being called, with Chock being the recipient. And it looks like a yellow was given as well. Chock to take. Off to Garcia. That's now 4 fouls on the Wolves as well. Keep that in mind. Choxy. Chock, Alamov, all the way back to Garcia. Chock. Choxy. And in was McGilray coming there. Chock. Gives it off to Garcia. Now Choxy. Santabanez tries to squeeze it in, but wins a corner, or a side ball at least. Looks like a corner. Silas there on the defence. Choxy. Alamov. Garcia. Alamov. Out wide using Choxy. Now back to Alamov. Good ball through. Santabanez, and the block made there by Silas, and game's kind of quietened down a bit. over the last minute. And a chance comes in though for Chalk. Cleared by Silas straight into the roof. And that'll be a United ball again. Santabanez, Alamov back to Santabanez, turns it over, Silas, can he finish? He can't, Alamov with the block on what did appear to be on target. Now Silas to take from the corner. Gives it off, Torres almost squeezes that through, but Robert up to the task. Torres. Now Diabro. Silas. McGilray. Alamov calls for a handball, but nice defence. McGilray on the counter after the Santabanez turnover. McGilray all the way. Big save by Robert. Still McGilray. On the follow-up, Silas can't quite get it around. Ball stays in, Diabro. And now a goal throw for Alexander Robert. Garcia, Alamov, back to Garcia, and now Santabanez. Tries to squeeze it through, dangerous chop, save probably a certain goal if Diabro could have got a shot off, no keeper on the line. Valencia, 2.5 minutes remaining in this game. Great ball by Valencia. Shot can finish, can he? Beats the keeper and can't beat, shoots on the goal line. The shot goes off and not a whole lot there between a goal. Just wide left. Now Garcia, Alamov. Here is Garcia under pressure from Diabro. Putting the fifth man under all sorts of pressure. Shoots. He gets a shot off and just wide. Valencia inboard. Alamov. Chalk. Now Santabanez. Good ball through to Valencia. Back to Garcia. Now Alamov, this is good movement, and here's a chance. And the ball inside was good, but nobody there. Golub down the line. Torres. You'd think last touch there will be off Steve Garcia, and it is. Under pressure here are the Wolves. Torres. Atsu shoots. Santabanez to beat. Cuts it in the middle. Has McGilray. Uses him. McGilray under pressure from Garcia, who does well. But McGilray now takes off. And going all the way through about 3 defenders. Now there's only one more to beat. Still going McGilray. And what a goal that would have been if he could have finished. But just wide. Would have been a contender for goal of the week. But that will now be a Wolves ball. .55 seconds to go in a 12-2 current game at the moment, and that is brilliant again from McGilray. This time he can finish. No, he can't. Block made there by Santabanez. And he's shown a lot of promise here so far, has McGilray, in the last 30 seconds. But there is now 40 seconds to go in a very one-sided game, and just a few words there had between referee and Brian Santabanez. As Torres now, they look to take a bit of heat out of the game, and they'll happily run this clock out if they can. Golub has still got it. Cuts it inside, can't get it to Torres. Santibanez, Valencia, 25 seconds remaining in the game. Santibanez, that'll be last off of Lucas Shoots. In fact, it's going to be a United ball. It's going to be a Wolves ball, in fact. I thought it was off Shoots, but I don't have the best angle from here. So it'll be Torres to take. And just a few words between referee and the bench of Perth United. Torres, Miguel, Golub, inside, Shoots. Can he put a stamp of class on this game? Big block there by Santibanez. Good ball through. Valencia, Santibanez down. Now McGilwray on the counter. 6 seconds to go. McGilwray through about 3 again. Loses it. Tried to get it to Shoots. Couldn't, and that will do us. 12-2 is the final result here at Melville. Cockburn Wolves coming out victorious in a one-sided affair. Kudos to them in what has been a real return to form over the last 2 weeks, whilst Perth United a bit of a stunning performance from them. You wouldn't have expected it. They've been competitive, like I said, for most of the season, and they've got a lot to work on going into next week. So thank you for watching here tonight. We've got a big weekend ahead, Friday night and Saturday, as well as some Sunday WSL games as well to come this weekend. So we will see you then. Thank you for watching. Have a great week.